Cheers. Welcome to Fireside Philosophy on the Voluntary Virtues Network. I'm Steve. I'm here today with Mike.
Yo.
Matt.
Nice to see you all again.
And John.
Howdy.
And today we're going to be talking about continuing our talk from last week on the 3 things we think are changing the world. First, though, I'm drinking Victory at Sea from Ballast Point in a bottle this time instead of a glass.
I don't think we did this one yet, have we?
We have not done this one yet.
It's a delicious one.
10%.
Or whatever. Yeah.
It's a porter with coffee and vanilla. Very good.
Delicious.
Yes.
Very,
Ballast
very
Point,
good.
man. They're on point.
Boom. Pun intended.
Yes.
Yeah, it has a surprisingly strong bitter taste. You don't usually get that with porters.
I think it's the blend with the coffee. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I like it, though.
Yeah, it's good.
Coffee hanging around definitely does get bitter, that's for sure.
What are you drinking, Mike?
Pizza Port. It's their SIPA.
Session IPA, right?
Session IPA.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a
missed the label.
session.
Okay. Pizza Port's really good.
It's SIPA.
SIPA. Pretty much anything I've ever gotten from Pizza Port when it comes to beer has been very, very good. Not to say that their pizza isn't good either. If you're ever in Carlsbad area, it might be a good
Yeah,
place
they have
to
pretty good pizza
hang
too.
on by. Yeah.
Their beer is really good though. Wins gold medals in all the competitions.
Yeah, exactly. For a small place, they put out some amazing beer.
John?
My staple, kombucha.
Cheers.
Right on.
Kombucha.
Mhm,
Nice.
mhm.
Is that store-bought stuff or did you make it yourself?
No, I've tried making it myself, and it got the old moldy Scoby. So
Yeah.
I'll give it another effort sometime, but not right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be talking about. To recap, last week we talked about marijuana and hemp, and its effect on the world.
Is cannabis okay?
Yes, cannabis. Excuse me. Or as the Bible calls it, cannabis.
Ah.
But anyway, today we're going to be talking about 3D printing. I think 3D printing really has it has a chance to change so many different industries that it's pretty simple to be what that it made it onto this list.
Yeah.
Matt, you want to explain 3D printing real quick?
So 3D printing is similar to 2D printing, except for you can print 3D objects, and it's not with ink. It's with an actual material, which varies on what material is actually used. But I think most people know what generally 3D printing is, but there are different implementations of 3D printing that are more effective than others. And I think it's what we're talking about here tonight is how we can use it to create a society that is more free and depends less or nothing at all on government.
Yeah, that's essentially what it's about, is making government obsolete.
Yeah, I think it's what we've been. I think that the theme here is like those things. From what I am understanding, is that those 3 things I believe are the things that will make government obsolete. Those are the things that I mean, it's all the stuff they're all weird about. I mean, obviously cannabis for the past 80 years. That's the thing. Like, oh, that's bad. And then with the 3D printing, as soon as that came out, they're like, we don't know about this. And especially when what was the dude's name?
Liberator.
The Liberator. Cody Wilson came up with
Yeah.
that thing. They're like, oh, you can make a gun out of it? No, we don't like that at all. So they're definitely keeping an eye on it. They can't ban it because it's amorphous. You can't.
Well, they
just,
can do what they want.
well, yeah, they'll. Fair enough.
But
Just like they can ban drugs, right?
Yeah,
Right, but
exactly.
I mean, I don't think they're really kind of saying that the technology of 3D printing in itself is going to be legal, but what they're going to do is definitely anything that made like any sort of like file that somebody's transferring that looks anything like a gun, they're gonna like red flag it and see who's downloading it and what they're doing with it.
Well, that's why a lot of torrents now are carrying a section for 3D printed
Files.
Files. Yeah, thank you.
And there's the way to
3D
do it
printer
right there.
files.
Yeah.
You know what would be awesome? Some way to encrypt torrents. I'm not sure exactly technical aspects of that, but
Maybe we'll talk about that next
yeah,
week.
so some other time. Yeah.
Could the blockchain be used for that?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. It's
That's-
just a thought
that's
off the
kinda-
top of my
it's
head.
gonna go in the
That's
next
going to be
week.
the third one,
Yeah.
so that'll be
Right.
next week. We'll
Some
talk
sort
about
of
that.
Part 3,
But all-
cryptography.
All
Yes,
of these things pretty much have
cryptography.
the ability to strike the root, which is hierarchical organization
Yeah.
and empowering
The individual.
the individual or small producers that could be small companies or whatever.
Well, that's just it with 3D printing. Whereas before you had to have these huge factories with hundreds of workers, and let's be honest, working under those conditions, especially 100 years ago when factory was really big in the U.S. weren't great conditions, and you basically put power and money in the hands of a few people that own those factories. 3D printing now, instead of having all these huge factories, you could have some raw material sitting in your garage, and a printer, or maybe a couple of printers, and anything that breaks, anything that you pretty much need.
But not yet, though. We're getting
Well,
there.
yeah,
We're
not
on
yet.
the way. But that's the potential for it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And I
hack
think-
shops at the neighborhood level or community level, hack shops that can
I
go
know.
print a water pump for your Ford. You know?
Yeah, that's what I was actually just thinking about autopods.
Instead of it getting shipped over from
Jay Leno.
Mexico, best case scenario, or across the Pacific, and the big ships spewing out stuff out the stacks and.
Jay Leno has a big collection of vintage cars, and he has a 3D printer at his garage that he uses. I'm sure his mechanics use to print the parts that he needs for his cars, because let's face it, vintage cars, they're not making those parts anymore.
Yeah.
Which is another advantage to 3D printing. Now you don't have to worry about, well, is there a big market? And if there's not, how expensive is this part going to be that I need?
Right. You can see the technology already. I mean, imagine, this bumper from a 32 Packard. There are no more in existence. You put it in this space. It's
Right.
scan, and it feeds off to a printer, and boom, you got a bumper for a 32 Packard.
Yeah, I think that's one aspect of the technology that needs to be improved.
Right. That's the future.
ease-
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, so the ease of actually replicating something in multiple ways. The interface to design something from scratch and a replicator of a real-world object. Those are, if you had those two features in a 3D printer, you're golden. That's really the two main features you need, in my opinion, is the ability to easily create something and to replicate something that already exists. And also making changes to something that already exists once it's been basically scanned into a
Yeah,
computer.
that's a good point, because pretty much right now, unless you have a lot of money, you're stuck with the cookie cutter items that is produced by the various companies out there. Now with 3D printer, say I like some product that somebody has, but I'd like it better tweaked in this way or that way. Now you can do that with a 3D printer.
Or even slightly larger. Scale it up, 10%.
Yeah, there's just you just got to type some digits in there and ta-da! It's really I'm glad this made it into our short list of 3. Because it's amazing. And I was just reading something literally 10 minutes ago. Show prep. They're working with we think of like 3D printing mostly as plastics now. But
It's easiest at this point.
yeah, but they're already
SLS.
working on like low melt point alloys.
Right.
That'll they'll melt at a low temperature, so it just prints it out the same way. It just kind of.
You know what else I was
There was-
reading
yeah.
about? Not only like 3D printing, but 3D carving. So you stick in a
Not milling.
well, yeah, but this is automatic. You put in the material that you want carved,
Yeah.
and you put in the program that you want it carved into,
That's
and the
essentially
machine carves it.
that's essentially what the Cody Wilson mill was all about.
Yeah,
It's doing it
yeah.
to aluminum, lower receivers for M16s or AR-15s.
Well, my understanding is that it actually uses the 80% lower receiver, like the one you could get from Ares Armor or
Right.
something like that, because legally 80% is how close something can be without it being legally that object.
You have to,
Right.
like, drill a few holes and all that.
Yeah,
That's
basically.
my understanding.
And then you have your own gun, completely unregistered and legal to own because you made it yourself.
And if you want to do the extra 20%, you would talk to somebody who's not currently on the show right now. Has absolutely nobody here knows how to do that. Just throw that out there. That yes, we're very into.
Well, that's what we're talking about, though.
Right.
Have you heard about this? Cody Wilson, the one that created the Liberator, he created this gun mill that takes 80% lower receivers
Yeah.
and
Just does
automatically drills the holes that you need.
2 holes or whatever it is.
Yeah,
It's something
you
ridiculous.
just stick the
yeah.
lower receiver in there, and the machine does everything.
And there's the future. Like that's how it is. It's
And,
like how do we
and
get
cheap
around-
too,
yeah.
like $1,200 to $1,500, something like that.
Yeah.
And you, not that I'm a specialist on it, but they're talking about 3D printing. The sky's the limit. Medicines and
Yeah.
all kinds of other stuff. Too,
Yeah, I heard
right?
about medicines.
A ton of.
Medically, they could be really good. You put in some they dry your blood, take some those blank cells. What am I thinking
Stem
of?
cells.
Stem cells.
themselves.
Yeah. Take the stem cells out. They then use this 3D printer to create you a new heart if you need a new heart.
Right. Or they can also test what would give you a negative reaction
Right.
based on your stem cells. Right. Yeah. Right. So they
Yeah.
can tailor.
Tailor drugs
Right.
and treatments.
I think there's also applications like prosthetics is a huge one that's been. I know there have been at least
Oh,
a
yeah.
few that have been printed.
Houses.
And the thing about
houses.
prosthetics too is that right now they're extremely expensive because of the customization. Well, customization isn't a problem with 3D printing.
If you have the right product, yeah. Which I think that people should be really focusing on that. I may not be currently building a 3D printer, but whoever is,
Right.
these are great ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just those little things. You just need to be able to put the right materials in. I can't remember what it's called. I wish I could, but it was a channel I subscribed to on YouTube, and it's just the company. They do 3D printers, and a lot of it. What they're showing is just kind of like artwork to show off their product. Like, this is what you can do with your 3D printer. But they've got things where you can put like 2 or 3 different types of plastics in there to create whatever. With that, I think it was just for artwork, it was for like color and stuff. But if you could, it doesn't matter if you can put a different color in there. That means you could also put a different type of plastic in there for whatever. Say you're making a hinge for your your leg that's not there anymore.
I've seen
Or different types of materials.
Yeah.
I was even seeing stuff with wood pulp, using the. This is more nanotechnology,
Right.
but using wood fibers
Mm-hmm.
to build buildings and stuff.
I saw one.
This is more in the 4D printing though. Have you heard about 4D printing?
No.
I don't,
So
I don't know
4D
about
printing
4D.
is very similar to 3D printing, but on top of just creating the object, it also adds the special joints and stuff, so that it reacts to certain environments. For instance, I've seen demonstrations where they created this flat piece that when it gets wet, it automatically forms into a cube, and that's just it's extremely basic right now, but it has a lot of promise. For instance, like with plumbing, having peristaltic pipes so you don't even need a pump anymore. That just acts like veins basically,
Right. Wow.
pumping the water through, or how they can expand or contract to meet the needs of the customer. so you don't have to replace your pipes if you suddenly need water going for more uses.
You know what would be great? It would be basically a 3D printer with different cartridges made up of different elements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could do. One aspect I've heard is 3D printing houses.
Mhm.
If you could have multiple elements,
Some
being
guy
able
on
to
the other
print-
end who works for HP is shouting at us like, "Hey, you're talking about."
Yeah.
They'll sell you the printer real cheap with the ink cartridges.
That's where they get
We need
you.
to 3D print the ink cartridges. The cartridges.
Yeah, right. There's your workaround. I need new ink
Well,
cartridges.
they're already
Perhaps I'll-
they're already talking about 3D printing 3D printers. So
I've even heard the concept of basically scaling up the same model of 3D printer. So you print a version of it, but it's larger, so you can make a larger version of the same 3D printer.
All right. All right.
How large can you go? That's my question.
That's what he's saying.
You know, when we're sitting here like talking about like 3D printing and like different things you could do with it, my brain just went to like, what if you could get like, you could grind up like magnetite really small, you know, and just be layering that on something. Then you'd have like this magnetic effect for whatever, you know, like a solenoid for whatever machine or something. That could be something really amazing.
Yeah,
That just reacts to magnet.
You know what would be really awesome is a 3D printer with an element for each one on the table. I don't think it's possible.
Well, I mean, that's
yeah, that might
But-
be going a little bit far.
But that would be badass. You can print anything in the universe.
including or excluding that Einsteinium
atom.
like block. You know what I'm talking about? You know
The
one with human
the ones that exist for a fraction of a second, created in a laboratory. Yeah, those
Yeah.
ones.
Or the ones that are like millions of dollars per ounce.
Antimatter. I don't know about 3D printing antimatter. That might be a bad idea.
Warning: antimatter. Do not come in contact with matter. Bad things will happen.
Yeah, 3D printing that probably a bad idea. You don't want to buy that cartridge. I actually remember reading that was on a list of most expensive things in the universe. around Earth.
Antimatter, really?
I guess yeah, it's extremely expensive.
Well,
you
they
thought
only
ink
make it-
cartridges were bad.
Well, wasn't they? Not to go off too far off
H3.
topic, but this happens. The collider, the one that goes over like underneath like France and Switzerland, didn't they like
The
find-
Hadron Collider?
Yeah, the
Large
Hadron Collider.
Hadron
That was it.
Collider, yes.
Didn't they find like? Didn't they like
CERN.
make
Or CERN?
antimatter for like a second or something?
Stored
Like
in
it
the
was,
vision
and was
process,
gone.
No, they've made antimatter in various labs
Yeah.
and stuff.
Okay, all right.
But right now, at least, it's like,
They've been able to hold between 5 and 7 seconds.
yeah.
Anything longer than that, it might be doom.
In a laser trap. Yeah.
And it's extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, the energy. Yeah, you don't want to fuck with that. I mean, the energy contained in normal matter is immense. But, yeah, messing with antimatter is not something you want to do with.
But we mentioned earlier, like the whole like printing out organs and stuff. You know, like I was just reading about, you know, print out different tissues and all that, and they're working with cells from a starfish because I guess they're super elastic and funky because it's a starfish and they lose a whole arm and it grows back. You know,
Yeah.
and printing that out and then having that bond with like say you get in a bad accident, it takes a chunk of muscle out of your leg or something. Put that on there, and it's kind of programmed. This is, you know, it's a bioengineering sort of thing too. But it's printed out. Put that in there, and then it just grafts in and just works with you. And all of a sudden, yeah, what part of my leg was gone? It's there now. You know, like it's pretty awesome.
Oh, did you guys see that movie, the Fifth Element?
Yeah.
Bruce Willis and
Yeah,
what was her name?
Jovovich.
Yeah.
Mia Jovovich.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Jovovich.
when all that's left of her is her arm, and they rebuild her. That was kind of a 3D printer.
Yeah, that's
The
pretty much
the
what
way
that
they
was.
they
Right.
showed it anyway. So maybe we could be building whole people someday.
I could see a lot of.
Clones.
Clone Army. Oh, great.
I could see
No.
I think I could see exoskeletons being something pretty popular with 3D printers.
Yeah,
I've seen some.
I can print out my Stormtrooper armor.
There's yeah, that and I've seen a few things for exoskeletons that are just basically for people who are doing jobs where like you're on your feet all day, where it'll basically keep you in a position as though you are sitting, but you're actually standing. Like it'll support your legs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so things like that I think would be easily printed.
Right.
So I could see a lot of like additions to the human body, basically an exoskeleton.
Making a day in the salt mine's not so bad.
And you know, in areas that it's hard to get spare parts and stuff. For
Oh, yeah.
instance, space.
Like the the International Space Station is, I believe, I don't know if they already have it. I mean, I think they do, but I could be wrong on that. But they're planning on, or already have, set up a 3D printer there for printing parts in space.
That would definitely be useful for those guys, because I mean it's a what is it, like how many millions of dollars would it cost to launch up a rocket? It's
Yeah,
like,
and per pound it's expensive.
Yeah.
To get cargo up there, but if all you gotta send is a bunch of material and you can form it into whatever you want.
Right.
Yeah. Now you don't need a few of these and a few of these and a few of these. Now you just send up the raw material.
It's definitely essential for. I think the people, as you're saying, would be most impacted. For remote people, where it's hard to go to the store and purchase something.
Yeah.
I just
And-
pictured somebody in the Sierra with a 3D printer, like
Yeah.
putting out an O-ring for his
Dude,
like water.
that's
print,
a
you know?
business model. right now.
Pouring sand into the top.
Yeah, somehow
Oh,
it just
speaking of sand, I saw a solar 3D printer
nice.
that
Oh, yeah?
basically concentrated solar rays into a point to melt sand
No
into
way.
a.
So it'd be a
3D form.
silicon.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. I mean, it wasn't the most accurate model. It was pretty rough, but it's still a great concept.
Well, if it's melting sand, then at that point, like, why do you even have to like call up Intel for your new computer chips? You know, I mean, like that's there's something going on right there. You know, well, you can just get the silicone and print that out.
And there's also out in the middle of the ocean. So you're on a diesel vehicle moving through the ocean. All of a sudden, something breaks down. You're out in the middle of the ocean.
You drop a prop over the Marineris.
Yeah.
You know?
Dun 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 dun! It's down there. Oh.
3D printing
Roll
new
the
one.
dive gear.
Goes down. It's like Abyss down there. Does anybody remember that movie?
The Abyss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ed Harris, wasn't it? Ed
Well, yeah,
Harris?
it was the Marinara, I think.
Have you seen photos of those like deep sea fish too?
Yeah,
They're freaky looking.
pretty similar.
Yes. What? Marinara?
You don't want
Yeah, the Marinara Trench. Yeah, it's really good. There's,
Mariana.
yeah,
Mariana.
there's meatballs down there too.
Marinara trench.
Yeah, caught myself.
Talking about
spaghetti sauce?
man.
That's where I dip my breadsticks. The
And I'm
Marinara trench.
What are you talking about?
Okay, we're still on the air.
So can I think about like? So can I print meatballs at that point? No, but then it'd be like some gross like GMO like meat sort of. Whatever.
They are actually
yeah.
working on producing meat that way too. Right now, from what I've told,
It's
it's
very lean.
Ethical
Yeah.
meat, yeah.
It's very lean.
that's part of the
they're-
problem. The other problem is like getting flavor infused into it.
Well, the fat is what gives meat flavor. So you have
What's it
to
made out of?
properly marble the meat, which I guess they haven't been able to do yet. But basically what it is they're printing proteins into a steak shape.
Or I think
It doesn't
they're also
sound
like
very
growing it
appetizing.
too, right?
They're doing what?
I think another avenue is growing it, like on a
Yeah.
Yes.
dish, right? So I've read that
I
they're,
don't know. What
that
sounds
they're-
more appetizing?
that they're growing like leather,
grown meat or printed
right?
meat?
They can say
I'm not sure if I.
a sleeve, for instance. They can grow leather in the shape of a sleeve to be sewed
Print
up.
me a taco, damn it.
into a jacket, yeah.
Yeah, printing my clothes out of leather, I'm okay with that. But somewhere along the line, like I don't.
Printing a taco doesn't seem
Yeah,
legit.
I'm not buying that as being good. I'm
You
just,
print me a tasty taco, though. I don't know. I'd
If
be impressed,
Monsanto has
dude.
nothing to do with it,
Yeah.
then
No additives.
maybe, you know.
No additives.
I don't know. Printed taco. Like, do I get it cheaper than a normal taco?
What's my price range exactly? Well, first you got to buy the printer. Damn.
Well, you know what though? That's one good point though, is that if we could create the meat in a way that's that's comparable, that could be a way to stop having to kill animals for
Right.
it.
I'd be. I mean, if we could get to a point where it was, no kidding, absolutely healthful, then I would be a convert. Sure, for
Print me a
on
nice
ethical
steak.
grounds. Sure.
Okay, so can you print them already cooked?
Yep.
That would be nice, right?
That's an improvement for sure.
So
if it
what
comes
you
out
do
all
is-
already cooked, then I'm golden. Yeah.
You got to print it so that it's like medium rare though, right?
You get
to varying temperatures throughout.
Yeah, no, we'll get there for sure. Like if that's something we're
Oh,
working
no.
on, you're definitely gonna have it already come out cooked.
so it has to like print it
A
at
different
160 degrees or whatever it is.
I don't know the
Rare
the
beef?
thing about steak is
145,
the reason that you
155.
just hear the outside is because you're not really getting bacteria in the interior. 'Cause it doesn't have
But
a
if
way
it's
to
printed, then
access
it's
it.
frying everything all the way through.
That's the
right?
problem. I don't think you could actually get a rare
Yeah,
steak, which would be a
good point.
damn shame.
Well, you could get a rare steak, maybe not medium though.
Yeah, you'll probably die of some horrible.
Well, if it's rare, then you just cook it.
That's some horrible misprint.
It's a horrible misprint. The DNA was coded wrong. You've got cancer. Dun, 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 dun. I knew my 3D printed steak. I should have checked that code a little bit better. Shit.
And then
Where's the
viruses
line?
could turn into real viruses.
Yeah.
Damn, that's oh, what if we get to the point
Printing DNA. Yeah, let's
you're
not
printing
talk about that.
DNA? God.
Oh.
Or 3D printing atoms. Dude.
Wow.
That is the
That's something
future,
else.
dude.
That's
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Atom by atom.
Well, you're
It
basically
is.
talking a replicator at that point.
Dude, somebody get on this shit.
and at what point?
That's a real 3D printer right there, man.
And at one point in time when we're printing atoms, do I have my jetpack? Because I'm still waiting for that.
Yeah,
Like,
what
this
the
is
hell's up
like-
with that, man?
Oh, I did
That's
read
right.
though. There's some people who actually created a hoverboard. You have to
That's
have
bullshit.
like a copper floor or whatever. before-
I gotta have a copper floor. What's that gonna cost me? You
Like a
have-
copper floor that I can't ride on when there's a
$10,000
thunderstorm,
worth of
you know?
copper. Damn.
it may cause serious injury in a thunderstorm.
Yeah, you're gonna die in a thunderstorm.
That's why you put a roof over it.
I don't know if that
Does
works.
the roof have copper on it? I'm kidding. No.
Lightning rod is only invented like 200 years ago.
Yeah, it should work. Yeah, we can find a workaround. But so, if we're talking about like customizing like 3D printing to like the nth degree of whatever you want, at one point or another, I'm assuming you could print out like a 3D like robot,
Customized
right? customized
Sex robot.
customized sex robot.
Here we go.
The
Holy
future,
shit.
the future customized sex
Well,
robot.
wait,
Who
wait,
would
wait,
have
wait.
thought?
Wait,
Would you
let me
want-
think about this for a minute.
Okay, all right. Contemplate.
Would it be
We only
sentient?
have about a minute. Oh wait, when
No,
did we
no, no.
start?
Yeah,
No, we
when
got
I-
like
when
2
I-
minutes.
2 minutes.
I know.
Okay, all right. 2
I
minutes.
was trying to draw it out, which I've successfully done.
1 minute. 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Go.
Yeah, that's probably not enough time to get into it right now.
Oh,
Well, no, I mean, we'll
No,
go. Let's
no, but-
go. Let's see if we can make it. What's going on? Let's-
Okay, so you could customize your female robot, right?
Uh-huh. Right.
So, how would you build the electronics though into it?
It would have to be something where like it's done in half, and then you put everything on the inside and you
And
seal
then
it
you
up.
have to put it together.
What do I
yourself.
gotta go to IKEA for this?
Well, no, you just gotta get your epoxy from like the Home
prepared for
Depot
that.
and just put it around
Well,
like the edges
those
and
could be like
buff it down.
Well, those could be like components like sound cards and graphics cards. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So the holes are there. The spaces are there.
As long
for
as
these
the holes
cards.
are there.
As long as the holes are
As long
there.
as the holes are there, I think we're all good, man. I think we can figure it out.
Holes and boobs.
But I don't think we have time to fully get into this.
Well, yeah,
subject,
I mean,
sadly.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna talk about like graphics cards and like why you need new graphics
It's
cards.
getting
'cause the old one's
technical
boring.
here.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a
But,
thorough breakdown when we do an episode on robot sex.
And one day we
will do that episode.
At some point
The
in
robot
time.
sex episode is coming. It's in development.
But Not today.
Have a good weekend,
Cheers.
everybody.
See ya.
Take care.
Take care.